Are you ready?
Welcome back to It's Not on the Couch with Pokerbet, and this actually reminds me of Between Two Ferns with Zach Galifianakis, but I don't know what we're going to call it now. Maybe we can ask the viewers for some thoughts and ideas. Suggest in the comments what our new Pokerbet podcast can be called, considering we're not around the couch anymore. But I'm back with DK. We're back from Vegas, and we've got a lot to catch up on. What a great trip, eh?
Unbelievable. I just want to say thank you for not asking me for any creative ideas. I was already stumped when you even with the suggestions, so I'll leave it up to you guys, I guess. But yeah, going back, unbelievable, trip. Lots to break down, excited, glean with joy from all the people's experiences. I couldn't do much myself, but rather onto the others who had some fine success.
Absolutely. I mean, listen, we had an unbelievable trip. I know in the build-up to all of these podcasts, talking about how many people we were bringing in, we were hoping for 6 and 8 and whatever it was. And then next thing, there was this mad rush in the last few weeks. I think the FOMO kicked in and everybody suddenly wanted to be a part of the action. And we ended up taking a group of about 20 players and some wives. It was an amazing experience. There were some friendships formed, some of the most unassuming friendships. We'll get into that now, but just an incredible experience, some amazing results. I think everyone that came with us got a result here and there, got a cash, managed to cash in the World Series. Some of them went super deep, and we'll sort of pick them apart now. But just to start off with, I mean, from your own expectation, we started 2 years ago when we got this business underway. We started talking about the dream of taking people to Vegas. It's starting to materialize, and I think it just keeps going from strength to strength. We're already thinking about next year. We're already thinking about the size of the team we can go through. But what stands out for you from this trip as sort of some of the most memorable experiences?
I think it's some of the camaraderie, the team. I laugh at it. We went there. I didn't have big expectations. I was probably thinking 6, 8, maybe 10 people. And as you said, this last 2 weeks hurrah, where everyone was wanting to be part of the vibe. And what was amazing for me is there was basically 20 people, all from very different walks of life, very different. But the unity downstairs, you would see Sean Bloom, you would see Adam Wolf, you would see Jody Van Veek, all these guys are sitting there, Ariel Mazabal, all these guys are sitting drinking double tequilas, having fun, hanging out. We even had a joke going on that, meet in the office, the coffee place. You always knew there'd be 2 or 3 guys, you'd go meet them, you'd go for breakfast, you'd have a drink, you'd have coffee. So for me, felt like one big happy family.
100%. The South African gees was definitely around to be seen. If we started off, we all landed there, just after a long trip through various different routes. I mean, many different travel arrangements were made with the lastminute.com plans. But we hit the ground running. We jumped straight into the $400 Colossus, Wes Blom's birthday, which I'm not sure if you knew was on the 29th of June every year. Wes got a great result. He got off some big chips in the Colossus $400. He ended up cashing there. But a very deep run from Chad Binder. He ended up finishing 44th out of 19,337 players. He cashed for $14,350, which obviously set off his trip the best way possible. And it set the tone for the South Africans to follow suit and for the guys to believe that they could get some results. An amazing result for Chad. What can you sort of explain to people about the size of these fields? 19,000. This is an entire tennis court stadium full of players playing in a single live tournament.
I think you said it, correctly. Just set off the tone, right? We get there, everyone's a bit exhausted, drained, but got that excitement to be in Vegas. It was unbelievable. And just, you'd have people popping up, we'd be counting down. It was 1,000, it was 500, it was 300, 200. It was an insane run. He was really in the mix there. When you start counting your stacks as being 5 million, 8 million, you're really in the mix. It was superb results. It was he just kept, lasting on and on and on. And it was really good to see also the team getting around him, support him. We had a group with updates. So, it was an unbelievable energy. And I think, as you said, I think he kept him on a high for 10 days.
Absolutely. And straight from that, we jumped into the $1,000 mini main freeze out. Jed Kosu, it's his event. I mean, he got another deep run again, finishing 150th, I think it was. Also, a field of about 6,000 runners. Another good result for Jed. It was interesting to see. Straight away, Justin Ace got a cash as well in the Colossus. We had a few guys who literally just started off with a bit of a cash, which always sets you off on the right foot. Adam Wolf was our sort of MVP, as we all discussed internally, because he jumped into some action. He got a couple of early cashes. And then we had the tag team event, which was really exciting. And we had to pair up some interesting combinations. The two Milnerton boys, Jed and Darren Kramer, managed to get a cash. We had 6 teams entering the tag team event. It's an interesting event. You can tag in and out whenever you want, as long as you're not in a hand. So Darren got his little donkey to do the grunt work, and when Jed was getting tired, Darren jumped in. Other teams sort of just did one level. Myself and Ariel Mazabau jumped in, and we did a father-son combo. The man was born when I was in matric. We managed to get an 81st place out of 1,400. Jody van Wyk and Seamus, definitely the bromance of the trip. They got a cash as well. And then the real flagship cash was Adam Wolf and Jan Adrian Becker. I mean, we took 2 guys from, you speak about different walks of life, different styles in poker. They'd never met each other before landing on this trip. And the Wolf and the Afrikaans Assassin finished 31st out of 1,437 runners. They cashed for almost $6,000, and they started a great friendship there. It was amazing to see. And clearly, this partnership worked, because straight from their cash, both of them ended up jumping into these landmark satellites. Both won seats into the main event, which is exactly what we're there for. We're wanting to see these guys that are spinning up there, satellites that they won on our site, that they won packages through, and now they're going into the main event of the World Series. An incredible experience for them. We had quite a few players, obviously, that ended up either qualifying or buying into the main event, but just amazing to see how sharing ideas and sharing some of the form and just getting into the energy ended up resulting in guys finding results and sort of sharing it with each other and forming these bonds.
Exactly what you said with that team event. That's a fairy tale story for me. 2 guys, connected by poker. We all go there with the same purpose, same interest. It was unbelievable. It was cool to watch, as you said, the different combinations. I think Jed played 85% of the time for us. It was just, it was great. I think Sean Bloom told me that his back still sore from carrying Jody. But yes, as you said, that dream combination, just 2 absolute gentlemen. Like, I can say one thing about those guys, they just went in with good energy. They were always around to help out. They were just great guys to have on the trip. And I'm very happy that those 2 would go and have this mad run, this mad period. What even Adrian did in the satellite, it was 1 in 20 only won it. The guy was it was crazy. He just built up chips. It was very funny. He sent me a picture of his stack, and it was more than what I thought you had to get. I've nearly sprinted, and I'm not in the best shape possible, across the Paris Hotel to inform him that he had qualified already. But don't worry, he said he was just making 100% sure. But yeah, just a great result from those 2. It was, as you said, really amazing to see how many of our players actually, qualified for the main event. It was a pretty strong field. I think, I'd love to check, but I reckon this was the biggest attendance in probably the last 10 years of South Africans in the main event.
I would imagine so. Just before we jump into the main event discussions, we had Adam. Not only did he cash in the tag team, he got another small cash. He won his landmark satellite. He also came 161st in the $800 Independence Day, which was also, I think, 4,000 odd players were in that. He got $3,600 for his cash. Another deep run. He got super stiff. He got it in with Ace King versus Ace Queen for a big pot, literally in the top 150. Didn't go his way, but he managed to bounce back from that, like I say, with an amazing landmark. He made day 3 in the main event. He fell just short of the money. It's a tough grind, as we know. Jaden Cohen also went super deep, also just fell short of cashing as well. But we did have a great result, and we looked at DK's picks, which had started off really well in the sports front. He looked like he was maybe failing with picking Simon Solomon as his pick. Simon ended up bricking the first 3 or 4 events, which is also normal. It's variance. You're playing a small sample size. But he then managed to find a great result. In the same $800 Independence Day, he finished, if I'm not mistaken, 50th or something. A super deep run as well. Gave him the confidence, and then jumped literally the next day into the main event. And Simon, as you know, if you followed on the socials and saw all our stories, he managed to cash. First main event he played, first main event he cashed. He finished about 1300th, cashing for $15,000. A bucket list experience for Simon. Somebody that we internally have discussed, very solid game, really works hard at it. And amazing to see the results come through for him as well.
Yeah, no, don't worry. I think I reminded him 3 times on the trip. I said, I don't want to put pressure on you, but I did tell the world that you're my pick. And even when he was about to cash the main event, I said, you make me proud, yeah. But yeah, so it was superb. As you said, people don't realize in this game the variance. What South Africa's best player, Ahmed Karim, I think went 25 tournaments without cashing. It's tough. There's variance. A lot of things happen. So Sim got into the rhythm, bricked a few events, and then goes cash. And that main event, I must just say, what an experience. The guy was at the TV table, PokerGo, out to the rest of the world, playing, making us proud, making South Africa, Pokerbet proud. It was just a really awesome thing to see, and I'm sure, well, I enjoyed it as much as hopefully he enjoyed it, but an amazing achievement and something that we all, dream of. Anyone who's aspiring to go to Vegas, this is what you play for.
100%. I mean, I think it would be a miss, even though he wasn't part of the Pokerbet crew. But if we really want to talk about putting South African poker on the map, Giovanni Zanetti, I mean, last year, before we even got to Vegas, he managed to take down one of the win events, set himself up for a great series. This year, he managed to finish top 3 in a huge mystery bounty win event as well, picking up over $320,000 in a cash there. Amazing result in a huge field, again before we got there, and set the tone for a great series for him, even though he had a bit of variance. Again, he lost some sick hands in some of the big events, the Win WPT Championship as well. He really got a stiff one there, getting it in with aces versus ace-queen on the turn. He got rivered by a 2-outer. It's sick. And then we saw what he did in the main event. I mean, I don't think enough can be said about the performance that Giovanni put in. He had chips from day 1. He had chips on day 2. He had chips on day 3. His graph just literally kept going up like this. And at one stage, I mean, I thought there was no ways this guy wasn't going to make main event final table because he was just going from strength to strength. But as you know, cards turn, form turns, distribution, hands, etc. He managed to go deep into, if I'm not mistaken, day 7.
Yeah.
And ended up getting pretty stiff. He lost jacks versus ace-9, and then he lost 10s running into aces later on when he was a bit short. But finished with the 33rd place for $350,000.
I think it was that, yeah.
Another huge result for Giovanni. Just an incredible performance. You can be proud for the way you represented South Africa. He's put a lot of work in his game, studying the last couple of years, and he really is a force to be reckoned with. He seemingly just shows how comfortable he is in these international fields. And yeah, you can continue to expect big things from Gio. And I think it's great for South Africa just to see guys proving that we can run deep in the main event. And again, with the more of these trips and the more of these packages that we win, and hopefully getting more coaching material and guys to share ideas with each other, we're only going to build South African poker and put ourselves on the map going forward.
Absolutely. I mean, you've said it all. It was just... you just can't put into words what a performance that was. Just the amount of hours time. He was in such control. It's crazy to watch. I was just like in awe, actually, to be honest. It was, as you said, you've given enough of the credits. He is a superb player. He's, in South Africa's top 2 players probably in the country. And I look forward to very big things. I think a title's coming very soon for him. And it's just, we've had quite a few results. We had obviously Emmy last year, this year Gio. Feels close. We're going to get another final table. I know we've had, Ray was when I was a teenager, not so grey. I had to have a haircut before. I was be fully grey hair, But, it's coming there. We're going to get, if we keep getting people, 25, 50 oaks out there, it's going to break through. Just really proud of the boys. It was just a great result. And as I said, that win that he did as well, it was a super tough field. He was navigating through a lot of minefields. So just kudos to them. And Savvy and Poker, we're making strides. We're getting there. Take us a little bit, longer. We had to get a few things in order, but yeah, super amped and excited for the future. I think that for me is the exciting part. I know we keep going here, and we saw the growth from the first year to the second year. I laugh. One thing that also, stuck with me is when we finished the trip, Jody van Wyk came up to me and says, "Can I book for next year?" And I feel like I'm getting a lot of that. I had some guy message me. May leave his name off, but he was like, "How do I get part of this? How do we be part of the team?" That's all I want to hear. I just want to hear people want to be part of this, live it. We're going to help you to get there. We're going to try to guide you as best. This guy on my right gives you all the information, helps you out. We've only been doing this probably 20 years together. So it's just something that we really want to give you the best chance to have the most amazing experience.
Yeah. And I mean, on that note, it's exciting to see the size of the fields growing and the interest growing. We took a great team this year and a lot of guys from all walks of life and various skill levels. We've got a lot of South Africans and some of the guys have been really successful locally that still haven't been able to get there yet and haven't had the opportunity. I'm thinking of guys who are achieving week in, week out at all these series. Marco Norkia, huge up-and-coming talent. Love to see him get to Vegas next year. Clayton Taliwanth, I mean, he just got fresh off. Where on earth were they? In Vietnam?
Cambodia, somewhere like that.
Another win in Cambodia for $40,000. A great result for Clayton. And he's somebody we obviously have spoken about on this pod before. He's a huge talent to study the game. Him and Marco are very close. We got Max Devison, who was in Cambodia with him. Max also wasn't in Vegas this year. These are guys that really can fly the flag. And I really hope to see more and more guys being a part of the team next year and being in Vegas. I mean, and on that note, we're not going to wait till next year to start running competitions and satellites. The interest is there. We'll slowly start building up, and we really want to make sure that we are taking a huge team across next year.
Yeah, I'm very excited. As you said, this year, watch the space. We're going to look to, sometime near the end of the year, even maybe before, just really start kicking things off, getting excited because we're here, but we're excited to go again. So looking forward and just still excited to see the newbies that come and we relive it again.
100%. I mean, one of the other off-the-table experiences that was really cool. A little crew of us managed to get to a pub at 8 o'clock in the morning to watch South Africa versus Ireland. The first test we managed to catch there, the one we won. Great to see, obviously, the Gears in the morning sitting around, but it obviously leads us on to some of the sport tips, and we struggle to keep up. I mean, the one big thing I'd say that's negative about the World Series is the timing that you're in America, because you end up with such average American sports. It's basically just baseball. There's no NHL, no NFL. There's no NBA even, really. It's the summer league. So you are a little bit short on sporting entertainment, and it's not easy to find any sort of Cricket World Cup action on the TVs in Vegas, nor is it easy to find the rugby. But we managed to keep an eye on some of the action back home. The Box did us proud in the first test. Unfortunately, fell short in the second. We thought they were going to win the series 2-0. We got a game up and coming against Portugal tomorrow. Obviously, this pod might go out after that game goes off. What do you expect to see from the Box?
No, I think we'll just continue. I think the Portuguese were pretty good in the World Cup. They'll put up a bit of a fight, but I think second half will pull away. I think we'll win comfortably 30 to 40 points.
100%. And we got some exciting action coming up with the Olympics soon as well. This is one of my highlights of every 4 years, I guess. But just amazing to see some of the athletics, swimming, and some of the sports you don't get to see, sort of the flagship events like the World Cup football and stuff like that. South Africa sending a team across with some medal hopefuls in the pool and on the track. Not sure the Sevens rugby team's going to have much of a chance this year. They've been going backwards a bit lately. Anywhere else that you see us maybe pulling a miracle result out there? No,
I've been waiting for you. I know this is your forte. So anyone who's following, I don't know, this guy on my right, he loves us. I used to say it's random sports, but when I was told by one of our poker players, Eugene Duplessis, no, these sports were played well before any other sports were invented, I kept quiet. So yeah, the athletics, I love watching it, but I can't say you're going to get many tips from me. But looking forward to, I don't know, hopefully, you think we can find a gold medal too?
It's going to be tough. I think the pool's got a couple of hopefuls. Obviously, Tatiana Schumacher, who has recently married, and I can't remember her new surname. She was a great chance in the pool going in. Chad de Clos in his last Olympics, can he pull something out? Obviously, he's not the force he once was when he beat Michael Phelps. I think that on the track, Akani Simbine is looking strong. He's had an unbeaten year, if I'm not mistaken, on the track. He's had some great results running, I think, in the low 9.9s, maybe even 9.8 something. He's an outside chance for a podium and maybe even a gold medal in the 100 meters, the flagship event, fastest man on earth. I'm going to be keeping an eye on him. He's a huge potential. And there's a few other up-and-coming athletes on the track as well that you want to keep your eye on. But I think before the Olympics start, we'll have another show with some tips and maybe some of our outsiders for some big punts. And we're going to definitely touch on that. I think Portugal are going to play an exciting brand of rugby tomorrow. Right. I think they might surprise us. We've obviously got to, not surprise us at the win, but push us a little bit deeper than we thought. We've got obviously a lot of changes and some uncapped players that are putting their hand up for the next cycle for the 2027 World Cup. Lots of action coming up. We're just adjusting with a jet lag. I think we've mostly, through the worst of it now, broken the back of it. And yeah, exciting stuff coming up. We've got another 500k guaranteed at the end of this month. I think it's on July 27th, if I'm not mistaken.
27th to 28th, yeah, we can check.
A nice one to beat the winter blues. Lots of action coming up, and as we say, there'll be an early start to the satellites building up for Vegas 2025 as well. It's great to catch up and just go through what we experienced. It was an amazing trip. Lots of memories, lots of laughs, and I think we're looking forward to next year. So don't forget, leave your comments and suggestions on a new name for the Pokerbet pod and anything else you want us to maybe touch on in future episodes or any topics, any guests you want to see us interview, let us know. That's it for us for this week. DK, nice to be back, and let's get back into the swing of things at work. Thanks for joining us. And we'll chat soon.
Yeah, thank you. Happy to be back and see you in the next one.
Cheers,
guys.
Are you ready?